Hey, thanks, Salama, for your assistance. It was so greatly appreciated. And I just pray that the Lord will continue blessing you because you have been a really blessing to me because you helped me through the problems that I had and you answered all the questions that I had for you and you handled it so professionally. That was so greatly appreciated because I was really lost on what I was doing. Hope you have a wonderful day and I pray that you and your family will continue to be blessed. Okay? Take care. Bye bye. Hi. My name's Alan, and I'm going to be teaching you guys little things of a little thing that you probably learned whenever you was a child. And I know I'm not trying to say that you guys are childish by no means, but there's sometimes what we forget is the simple things in life, and that's saying thank you to people and just showing that we care. And there's so many times that we get wrapped up in our own problems, and we just don't know what we're saying at times, and we say things that we don't mean, and it's just very discouraging on both you and the other person because you feel like that there's no one actually getting any leadway there. So have the courage to tell somebody thank you. I mean, that really means a lot to a lot of people, and especially the people that's on the, like, I was just on the phone with the representative and I thanked them for helping me, and it was just so amazing how saying thank you to someone just changes someone's attitude. So I wanted to tell you guys a little story of what happened a while back that was actually something that happened to me, and I didn't know it. It took me 42 years to learn this, but I'm not going to tell you guys this in 42 years. I'm trying to take this and let you know in at least 2 or 3 minutes, and I'll be fast. And what it is, I was on I was on the phone. My computer was broke, and I just didn't know how to fix it. And I was just getting really frustrated. So I called the representative, and I said, you know what? I'm really confused. I really don't know what's going on. Can you please help me fix this problem? It's just really annoying. And the representative said, well, what are you looking at right now, sir? I said, well, I'm looking at the computer, of course. And he said, well, what's there in front of you? I said, well, there's a screen here. He said, okay, sir. Well, what what is what do you see on your screen? I said, well, on my screen I see a picture, but I see a lot of buttons there. He says, okay, well, there's a button right below your screen, and it shows F10. And but that button by the F10, there's another one that's just right above that, and it's a power button. I said, okay. What do I do with that button? He told me he wanted me to push that button, so I pushed the button, and I was like, okay, now what else do I do? And he said, okay, well, if you found that button, the representative said for me to press it down and hold it for 10 seconds. I was like, okay, so I held it down for 10 seconds. And then he said, okay, now that you did that, reboot it. So I rebooted the computer, like he said, and I didn't say nothing else. I was just listening to what he was telling me. And so when I rebooted the computer came back on. And he said, okay, now what do you see now, sir? I said, oh, it came up. All right, cool. The computer came up. All right. But so I hung up the phone. Now, as you notice what I just told you guys in this story is that I never did say thank you to the representative, and that was something that I didn't realize I was doing until somebody addressed it to me, and I thought it made so much sense whenever they told me that I wasn't saying thank you after they explained to me. And the I met this Filipino guy, and he's the one that told me about it, and it took somebody from a different country to tell me. I'm not saying take a different person from a different country to tell you. I'm just giving you guys an example. It took a person from another country just to explain to me, hey, Alan, you're not thanking people for having them to help you. And I was like, really? He said, yeah, really. You're not, you're not, you're not being very nice. You need to be a little bit more considerate for other people's feelings. I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know that I was. That's just part of their job, and I thought I was doing the right thing by calling them. He said, well, you were doing the right thing by calling them, but you need to learn how to say thank you. I was like, oh, okay. So as years went by, I started getting a little bit better, and I was getting to where I can say thank you to different people for doing things for me, and I never knew that I was doing wrong to begin off with. And he taught me a word that he said, well, Alan, he says, I want to teach you your first Filipino word, and that word is salamat. I was like, what, salami? He said, no, salamat. So I said, okay. So whenever someone would help me and they were a Filipino, I would say, well, salamat. And you'll be surprised at the response that I get. I mean, I was blown away whenever I would say salamat to a Filipino, and I said salamat for your help, and it just really made the person smile. And I went back to my friend. I said, you know what? Years later, I said, I noticed that people liked it whenever I said salamat, and he said, well, and then he said that's because you're taking the time to notice the person. You see who they are and not what they are, and you're wanting to. You as an American are wanting to learn culture, and that means so much for somebody that is not from your own country and they're living here. And you saying things like this really inspires people, and it just really touches them. And you doing this is just, it shows a little bit of courage that you're willing to try to speak their language by saying salamat, just like it takes a lot of courage for them to talk English to you. And it's like you're giving back, and it's an amazing feeling. And I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. And doing that, it just opens up different doors. And so that inspired me to actually take classes in college where to learn a little bit of language. I think it's called language logistics. I think, I'm not too sure, but the class, what it is, it actually tells you how to understand what someone's trying to say that doesn't really speak good English, and be able to differentiate what they're saying. I was like, and it actually helped me. I now can comprehend a little bit of what someone's trying to tell me, even if they don't speak English, and I try to do whatever they're trying to get done. And I know that probably didn't make sense, but that's the only way I can explain it. And I've learned that the word salamat meant so much. So I continued to learn a little bit more and more Filipino words. And not only Filipino words, it made me where I wanted to learn different ways of saying thank you in other people's languages too, which is very exciting, and just showing gratitude to a foreigner, to someone that's not even from your country, and you're speaking their language, even if it's just one word, it just means so much. I was on the phone one day, and I was having problems with some software that I had, and I was just really confused on how to install it. I felt like I was, you know how it is whenever you're installing something on your computer and then it doesn't work, and it's just like glitchy, or it's not recognizing it, or something's going wrong. So I called a representative up, and it was somebody from India. And the people from India are very, very intelligent, and I was just so blown away on how smart the person was that was on the other line. I was like, wow, okay, so I do it like this, I do it like that. He said, yeah, you type this RUN and to start whatever it is, whatever I did. It was just amazing. The guy was just so smart. It was like he was sitting over my shoulder telling me how to do it. And before I get off the phone, I said shukriya. Shukriya means thank you in Indian. And I learned that from one of my friends that he owned a store, and every time I would go to a store, he says, hey, Alan, have you ever thought about knowing what thank you means in Indian? I was like, yeah, sure. What does it mean? He said, shukliya. I was like, huh? Shahu? He said, you shook Leah. Oh, shukliya. I was like, oh, okay. And so I learned another word. So whenever I would get off the phone with somebody from India, I would say, shukliya. And you know what? Whenever I said that, this is what was so amazing. Just by saying thank you in their language. Not only did the person help me with the software, and it was only good for 1 year, what he did, he actually renewed it for another year. Because I used the word thank you, shukliya, after our conversation. And it just meant so much to them. And it was just so amazing. I was just dumbfounded. I was like, wow. It really taught me a lot in my life, and I really want to do more. So as years gone by, I just wanted to learn more and more, and I've read etiquette books on how to walk up to people, how to shake their hand, what to do, what to wear, how to speak, and I really wanted to do a one-on-one study for myself, because I really wanted to do better for myself, and that's why I'm doing this video, is just to help you guys out, just as I help myself out by doing all this research. But you know what? I feel blessed that God's taught me this. He showed me how to show gratitude to people, how to just be there and just think. If you were on the other phone, on the other line, and that person, you are trying to, you know the person's language, and you're trying your best to speak it, and then they say thank you in English to you, and it was just like, wow, I didn't realize I was that appreciated. And what I've learned too, whenever I would say thank you, I would go a little bit further. I know sometimes I might be going outside my boundaries, but hey, you know what? Everybody needs gratitude, and everybody needs to be recognized for things. And I said, you know what? I really appreciate your help, and it's just amazing of what you've done, and I just pray that you and your family would continue to be blessed, because you're such a blessing to others, the knowledge that you know. And you'll be surprised at how people enjoy that, because a lot of times people don't get gratitude for the things that they do, because they think, oh, it's just a job, this is what I do, it's no big deal. But it is a big deal, because if you're making money to do whatever you're doing, that means it's a big deal to you. Just like if you're doing something and you know it really well, and you have somebody that walks up to you and say, hey, how do I do this? And the thing that they're asking you, like for example, how to sharpen a pencil. Well, you pick up the pencil, you stick it in a pencil sharpener. A lot of people may not know how to pick up a pencil and put it in a pencil sharpener. And if they do pick up the pencil, they're like, oh, do I put the eraser in there? No, you put the lid in there. See? That's showing that you know what to do, and you're taking the time to show them. And the reason why they went to you is because they've been watching you, like, wow, that person really is an expert at sharpening a pencil. So I'm going to have him to teach me the proper way. Because all these years I see people doing it, but I don't understand. But he seems so smart about it. They're going to teach me how to sharpen my pencil. So, and then whenever you teach them that, then they're going to say thank you. And that makes you feel good, because you're like, wow, I thought I was just doing what I was supposed to do, but I didn't realize how grateful people are. And I'm really, really happy. It just made my day. And I run into that every day, where people come to me at my work where they say, Alan, I need this done, and can you help me do it? And I was like, okay, sure. And then I help them. And I don't look for gratitude, because God taught me how to do this, so I'm going to teach other people how to do it too. I teach them how to write documents. I teach them how to do PowerPoints or whatever. It's because God taught me to have patience and to do it. Humble myself. And then I would then in turn say thank you to them instead of them saying thank you to me. And they said, well, why are you saying thank you to me? I should be thanking you. I said, no, it's the fact that you came to me. You trusted what I know, the knowledge I have, to help you with this PowerPoint show that you are doing. Thank you for that. And you know what? Every time I do that, I gain a new friend. And I'm not doing to be popular, but I'm doing it because everyone needs to be recognized for what they do. That is so important. So, that being said, just do something like thanking somebody, and it makes a world of difference around you, and a world of difference of the people that watches you, and you will have a different perspective on life. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just giving a little suggestions of what I did that helped me to become successful in what I do. And just remember to say thank you. Alright? And I want to, at the end of this, I want to just say salamat. But just thank you. Take care. God bless. Bye.